Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another card video. Today I'm taking part in a blog hop for the Simon Says Stamp April 2015 card kit, and I'm going to be using this stamp set from the kit. This is a stamp set that I designed, and it's called Big Birthday Wishes. And I'm going to use a bunch of distress inks with it and sort of create a background of balloons. I'm going to be watercoloring with them, so I'm using some watercolor paper. This is Arches Hot Press watercolor paper. It's a really smooth watercolor paper, and I'm using the smooth paper in particular because I tried this card once before on some watercolor paper that had texture, and the balloons didn't stamp very well, and I didn't like how it looked. So then I switched to this smoother watercolor cardstock or watercolor paper. So the first color I used was Abandoned Coral. That's one of the new Distress ink colors. I then used Mustard Seed and then Spiced Marmalade. And what I'm doing is rocking that balloon stamp so just the edges of the stamp are inked up. And then I'm taking a water brush. This is the Faber-Castell Deluxe water brush, and I'm just pulling that color in from the edges. Distress ink reactivates when you add water, so it's the perfect technique to use with distress ink. I wanted to make sure that when I start overlapping these balloons that you could still see some of the other balloon, underneath, so you could see where they were overlapping. So after I had added water to all of the balloons, I took my heat tool and just heat dried this. You could also just let it air dry. This smoother cardstock or smoother watercolor paper tends to dry a little bit quicker than some of the rougher, thicker papers. So I probably could have just let it dry a few minutes and moved on, but I decided to use my heat tool to do that. So I stamped in Peacock Feathers and then also Salty Ocean. And this is the point when I start overlapping some of the colors. I tried to make sure not to overlap two that had not been painted yet. I did have one little instance where green and blue overlapped, but that's okay. This green color I'm using is Crushed Olive. So then I went in and added water to all of those balloons that I had just stamped. It's really, really simple watercoloring. It's basically just swirling on some water to get that ink to move a little bit. So then I dried it one more time, and then I brought in two more colors, actually technically just one more. I added some Dusty Concord, and then I took out Abandoned Coral one more time and added some more of that reddish coral color, just because I didn't stamp very many when I first started out, and I really needed some more red. So I added lots of water to all of those balloons, and then I had my pattern. So I went ahead and dried everything, and then I brought in this really light gray marker from Tombow. This is number 65 or maybe just N65. I'm not sure how they specify the colors, but I wanted a really pale gray for the strings on these balloons because I didn't want it to stand out a lot because there's going to be a lot of strings. I wanted to add a string to every single balloon, and I wanted it to extend over the balloons that were below it because I wanted it to look like the strings were behind or even in front of those balloons. So I just kept adding little bows and then squiggly lines coming down from all of those balloons until I had added a string to every single balloon. So then I peeled off my masking tape, and I taped this down to a board so that while I was watercoloring, the watercolor paper wouldn't warp at all. So now I have this pattern paper from the kit. This has a craft paper with gold foiled stripes, and I cut that to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I also trimmed down my watercolor balloon piece. And then I have some vellum cardstock here, and I'm stamping my greeting in Versamark ink after prepping that vellum with a powder tool just to cut down on any static cling. And I stamped that greeting, and then I'm using some rich pale gold embossing powder from WOW. I just wanted the gold to match as much as I could with that gold foil on the pattern paper. So I tapped off the excess and then set that with my heat tool, and it turned out really, really great. I love gold embossing on top of vellum. I think it looks awesome, and it'll really tie in all that gold. So after I initially stamped the greeting, I decided to trim it down and then add a little more gold on the edges. So I just ran the edge of this vellum through my Versamark pad, and I add just a tiny bit of stickiness to the edges so that I can add gold embossing powder. So after I had the Versamark on, I just sprinkled on some more gold embossing powder and just tried to make sure that I did a little bit at a time so it didn't become too much of a mess. And after I had all that gold embossing powder on, I once again took my heat tool and heat set this until it was all melted. And just adding that little bit of detail of that gold on the edges was just what it needed to tie this all together. So I'm going to place this right on top of the watercolor piece, and I want it to stay pretty flat to the watercolor, so I'm going to be adding some adhesive behind those bold letters. I'm using Tombow Mono Multi Glue. You could use any glue for this because it's not going to seep out from under the edges of the letters or anything like that. It's just a tiny bit of glue to hold that in place because I didn't want it to bubble up and pull away from the balloons, because I wanted to make sure that you could still see most of the balloons through that vellum. And as you've noticed if you've used vellum before, if it's not directly touching the surface underneath, the vellum really like fogs out everything and you can't see everything underneath it clearly. So I flipped it over to the back side and just used my fingers to press that vellum up to fold it. Then I added some adhesive. I'm using Tombow Extreme Adhesive, and I just pressed that down onto the back of the paper. And then I did that for the other end as well. Now I've got this piece ready to go on top of that pattern paper, but the pattern paper needs to be adhered to the card first. So now I'm creating a card base. My card is going to be a top folding card, so I'm scoring this cardstock at 5.5. The finished card size is 5.5 tall by 4.25 wide. And I just put adhesive on the back of that pattern paper and then adhered it straight down onto the card front. And I have to please excuse my voice today. I'm still battling that cold from a few days ago, so it's hanging on. I really want this cold to go away, but it's hanging on. So I adhered that pattern paper. Then I put some foam adhesive on this watercolor piece and adhered that down directly onto the card. And that's going to finish the card for today. Did want to give you a heads up that since this is a blog hop, go ahead and head over to my blog where you can click along to see everyone else's cards that they made using the stamp set and the other supplies in this kit. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I believe there's a giveaway associated with the blog hop, so make sure you hit my blog for that as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on Monday. Thanks for watching today's video. On screen are 3 more card videos for you to check out if you'd like some additional inspiration for your card making. I've got a little bit of watercoloring and some stamping, and also birthday cards. 2 of them are birthday cards, so I hope you'll check those out. You can visit my blog at kwarnerdesign.com, and you can visit me on social media at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next card video.